keep it 1 for 100. My men keep it 1 for 100. My ladies keep it 1 for 100. My peoples keep it 1 for 100.
100.
Welcome to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Sundays. Happy Sunday. Happy New Year, everybody. Glad to be back. Back with my man, Big E. Yep. Jonah had to do some fatherhood stuff today with his little one, so we'll be missing him. But, folks, we back. 2024 going on me and E's big fourth year, so welcome back. Yeah, welcome back. Because we back with 2-4. Welcome back. But, folks, we got a lot to catch up on, man. We've been off for 2 weeks. But, everybody got to have a little bit of downtime to get refreshed, put the batteries in, get new batteries, get your Christmas gifts. As you can see, we got some new mics up here.
Some new mics.
Yes, and I like to give a shout-out to my son-in-law, Cam Kennedy, and his beautiful wife, Olivia Nicole Kennedy, still / Johnson. You're always going to be a Johnson, my baby girl. But I'd like to say happy birthday to her. She'll be turning the big 26 this week. But like I said, I want to thank them for the new mics, man. I mean, it's kind of weird because I feel like I got to talk loud because the other mics were –
They're a lot more sensitive.
Yes. These right here, man, I feel like I'm big time.
These sound a lot more crisper. You don't got to worry about them falling. You don't got to worry about the static.
Yeah, man, I feel like KJ 103.
Like KJ 103.
Yeah,
like the sports animal.
Sports animal. That's who we are, the sports animal in the dungeon. Yeah. But, folks, like I said, we're going to have a special guest today. Miss Jennifer Douglas, the head El Reno basketball coach. She's sitting at 10-0, just won another big tournament. This lady can coach, folks. I'll tell you right now. She's done a great job at El Reno. You look at her middle school, they kind of start off slow. Then they get to high school. She turns them into, the Bulls back when Pippen and Jordan was there, man. All they do is win over there in El Reno. Like I said, she's sitting at 10-0, played over there in the Anadarko tournament. Took care of business over there, beating Anadarko. Beat them pretty good. You see that score, E?
I did not.
I got it on here somewhere.
I see. You said.
Yeah. I think she beat
40 to 23.
40 to 23. I mean, that's what Miss Jennifer Douglas does. She takes care of business. But like I said, we'll be calling her in a few. But we got to talk about some other things that's going on. OU's bowl game, OSU's bowl game. LaDainian Fields flips from who?
Flips from TCU to OSU. Following his cousin.
Following who else? His head what?
His head coach, yeah.
Robert Jones said, I had nothing to do with that. Well, Coach Jones, you're a hell of a coach at Dell City, and you're a hell of a recruiter for OSU. So, Mike Gundy, put him on your staff. Big time.
Man.
But like I said, congratulations to Mr. Fields, man. I know they'll be signing this upcoming week. I'm going to try to make it over there, as God willing, try to get over there to their signing day. But like I said, man, this basketball season, man, basketball's going strong and hard from the Big 12 to middle school to high school. Had a lot of big tournaments this week. Like I said, we'll get into those here in a little bit, but we're going to let E jump it off with OU's, what's going on with the Sooners, man. I think they got Kendall Thompson.
Yeah, it looks like Casey Thompson's
Casey Thompson.
Yeah, it's looking like he's looking to transfer to OU, which, I mean, it'd be good for OU just to have a guy with experience in that quarterback room because, you got a couple of young guys. I mean, Jackson Arnold's going to be the starter next year. And then you got Michael Hawkins that's coming in. That'll be a freshman this year. And then still got Booty, I think. I don't know if he announced if he was transferring or not. His NIL opportunities are too big at OU for him to transfer out. But Davis Bevel will be leaving. But all those guys with experience, they're going to be gone. So bringing in Casey Thompson will be good, kind of help mentor Jackson Arnold. So that would be pretty cool, I think. And from what I understand, like Casey Thompson understands that he's not going to be the starter. He understands that Jackson Arnold's the guy, but just somebody that that's going to be able to mentor him, give him some tips and everything. Someone that's been playing the game a long time and has done it at a pretty high level when he was at Texas and at Nebraska. So
in Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic.
And his brother also played there too, though.
Yeah.
and his daddy played there. So you know the Thompson name runs long to the Oklahoma Sooners. DNA. Like I said, one thing, like you said, having a guy that has that veteran leadership. That if Jackson Arnold is having a bad game, you can turn it to Thompson and say, hey, I need you to step up this ball game and help us out get this win. So that's one of the most important things is bringing in a veteran quarterback, because right now you have nobody on the staff. I know some people's upset about the bowl game. When I went to sleep, they were winning. And I woke up the next morning, they got beat. So shocking. But Arizona's a good team, though.
They are a good team. They're really good, and they're going to be bringing back that quarterback and that receiver. That's really good, and they'll be in the Big 12 next year. So
that's a dynamic duo. Those two guys.
I mean that.
I would want to face them.
Yeah, I think you might see him make a run at the Heisman, the quarterback. You might see the wide receiver make a run at the Biletnikoff. I mean that's a pretty good duo right there, and a pretty good that head coach. I don't know, he had some swagger to him. I like the head coach.
A lot of swagger. But OSU, they're getting their quarterback to come back one more year.
They're returning. I want to say I think it was like 18 or 19 starters. They're returning a bunch of guys. They found the money, I guess, to keep Ollie Gordon around.
Money talks. BS walks.
So, right. So I mean, OSU, I think, if we're making way too early predictions, I think they got to be the favorite to win the Big 12 next year. But, I mean, just seeing how good Arizona was and with them coming into the fold next year, I got to say Arizona's looking pretty good to win the Big 12 next year. West Virginia, I don't know who they're bringing back, but they look pretty good. Kansas State's always going to be in that conversation.
Got one of the top quarterbacks in the nation.
Yeah, Avery Johnson.
Just a freshman.
I think those are the teams to look for. But as far as the OU's bowl game does, I mean, there's a lot to gripe about, but I think there's also a lot to look forward to. Excuse me. I've been drinking this Dr. Pepper too fast. It's giving me the
you need to be on that sugar-free. I'm on that sugar-free.
Yeah. But I don't know. The sugar-free Dr. Pepper just don't taste the same, so I gotta get the OG. Okay. But anyways, the bowl game, Jackson Arnold definitely looked rattled at the beginning, little bit of jitters and everything. But, as the game went on, you kind of saw him get a little bit more comfortable. He was starting to make some really good throws. He had that deep throw to Brennan Thompson for the touchdown. That was beautiful. That was some stuff that you really didn't see out of Dylan Gabriel.
That's it.
So, I mean, just having that ability to throw that deep ball to the speedy receivers, because, I mean, OU's got plenty of speed at receiver. So I think once Jackson kind of finds his groove and everything, I mean, this offense should be pretty explosive. I mean, you're returning – the only guy you're losing at receiver is Drake Stoops, which is a huge loss. I mean, that was kind of your security blanket. You could throw it to him, and he was going to make a move and give you a couple extra yards down the field. But, you got Jalil Farouk coming back. You got Nick Anderson. You got Brennan Thompson, Jaquez Petaway.
What about the guy from Michigan that got hurt? He'll be back.
Oh, yeah, he'll be back. Andrell Anthony, that'll be huge for getting him back.
And he's a down-the-field threat, too, though.
Yes.
That some of those other guys
just a bunch of speed on offense, really. And then at running back, you got Sawchuk coming back. Hopefully Barnes can get healthy because, I mean, we saw Barnes when he's healthy. He's really good. Tawi Walker transferred out, which, I mean, can't be mad at that. OU, for whatever reason.
Where did he go?
Wisconsin.
That'd be a good fit for him,
I mean, I'm always going to be a fan of Tawi Walker. I remember, watching him when he first got there a couple years back at the spring game. I'm like, dang, this guy's good. Yeah. Like, bouncing off every tackle, it seemed like. And I wish he would have got more burn. I wish he would have got a scholarship, keep him around. I mean, he would have been a really good third down back. He started a bunch of games for OU, but, I think Wisconsin did end up putting him on scholarship, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He's got a little kid to take care of. That's it. I mean, I fully understand his departure. But anyways.
You got the X-Rob coming in from Carl Albert,
Yeah, like that running back room, I mean, I guess I can't say the best in the country, but, it among the top in the country as far as the running back room goes. DeMarco Murray knows how to recruit.
Biggie, you talk about these guys coming in, you talk about X, but I could see, X he leaves early leaves high school early. Graduates at the Christmas break. Takes his talent over to OU right now, and I can see him getting under Smitty. This is gonna be a different guy, man. I think he's gonna be able to help him at the running back and also help him at the H-back position too. The young man got soft hands, so congratulations to X and all the guys I know. I think David Stone is over there.
Yeah, David Stone. He'll be early enrolling. Jaden
Jackson
is doing it. Yeah. No, he's playing because he played in the.
Okay.
He's playing
over the Christmas break.
Yeah, he'll be there. I think next week. But he played in the All-American Bowl, and then he's also playing in the Polynesian Bowl. So he's doing a little bit of that. So I don't know. I get all this information from OU Insider. So
Biggie, you talk about David Stone. One thing I got to give to David Stone, if he doesn't go in the NFL. You need to put him on their recruiting staff because, the guy always has the right words to say. Is like, hey, Sooner Nation, it's going to be fine. We're going to be fine, which I think they're going to be fine. Going to the SEC, I think if OU runs a quick pace offense, as you can see, you look at the national championship game, you ain't got one SEC team in it.
Nope.
You don't have a Georgia or Alabama. You got a Michigan, which I think is their year. Harbaugh has done a great job, Guy's been suspended for 6 games, and his team finds a way to win. But you can't count out Washington. Penix,
that quarterback.
He's a hell of a quarterback, and
so good.
Can throw the ball down the field. The deal with Washington, they're so fast, and I really thought Texas was going to overdo Washington with their speed, but it seemed like Washington stood right there. It seemed like Texas couldn't catch up.
Texas, they had Texas's offense is what kept them in that game. The defense, the interior D line was pretty good, but they didn't have the DBs to keep up with that speed. So I kind of figured that's how that would come down. But that little late rally at the end was kind of impressive right there. Everybody thought the game was over. I don't know why Washington decided to run the ball rather than take a few knees, and then just. That should have ended the game right there, but they decided to run the ball. Then their running back gets hurt, and so this clock has to stop. Gives Texas a chance, but really, I think this is probably one of the best years of the college football playoff, of the 4-team playoff, and it's kind of interesting that it's the last one. But there was some debate at the beginning, but now that it's all kind of played out and everything, I think they actually got it right. Like these were the 4 best teams. We got 2 of the best semifinal games that we've ever seen.
Yes,
in the history of the playoff, and now I think this national championship should be one of the best ones in the playoff era as well. So
who are you picking for Monday night?
Man, I think it's Michigan's year. They've been knocking on the door for the past few years. I think they finally break it down and they win it, which, I would like to see Washington win it. I really like their coach. I really like that quarterback. But, I
like Michigan. I don't think Michigan's done anything wrong. I think they've done everything that everybody asked them to do.
Well, yeah, but you have the cheating scandal, which sign stealing. I think it really is happening everywhere. It was just kind of the way they went about doing it, I guess.
Yes,
but
sir. It's a crazy deal. But Oklahoma State. I think they lost their defensive line coach that's been there with them for a while. I think they lost him. And OU lost their defensive coordinator. So both schools I don't know if OU let their guys go, but I think Oklahoma State let their guy go. A guy that played there, and he played out of Douglas. Richmond was a defensive line coach for many years for Oklahoma State. Sometimes you got to part ways, and OU parted ways with their defensive coordinator. They said they kind of wanted to move into something else, but I don't think he wanted that. So
the guy that they hired to replace him, which first of all, I think just the timeline of it, it's like they let Ted Roof go, and then not even 24 hours. Like I think it was like literally 5 or 6 hours later. It's like already got their new defensive coordinator. So they already knew that where he was going. So he was the defensive coordinator at Jacksonville State, which was their first year in the FBS, and they actually had a pretty good year. Like his defenses were ranked, I think, across the board were like top 50 in like each category. So, and this is a guy that coached under Brent Venables at Clemson, was a graduate assistant under Brent Venables, and you gotta listen to this guy's interviews because literally. It just sounds like a younger Brent Venables, like his mannerisms, the way that he says things. It's like, it's Brent Venables 2.0 is who that guy
Biggie,
is.
you talk about they bring, but like I said, I think they want to let the other guy go to another position. He didn't want to do it, but sometimes when somebody's been coaching that long and the arrogance, what do you call it? I can't even think of the word I want to say, but just the
Not
pride,
much coaching experience.
yeah, just the pride, like, hey, I don't want to be bumped down.
Yeah.
I get a job somewhere else. I'm a defensive coordinator for OU. Been with Clemson, so I can see it, but hopefully that guy can bounce back, and so can Richmond. But like I said, I mean, I think the bowl games some was pretty good.
Yeah.
Some were blowouts. You looked at Oregon beating up on.
We all knew that was going to happen.
Liberty.
Yeah.
Just what I mean, just. I thought
that's why I think they should, they have to do that because of that year that UCF had a few years back. But I think you got to get rid of that rule, like throwing in the best group of 5 team. You see what happens. Which I mean, I say that, but Cincinnati. Well, no, Cincinnati didn't they get beat down by Georgia that one year in the playoff?
Yeah.
But anyways, I think you got to get rid of that rule. Like,
I think you do too. Like I said, it was like a varsity team versus a JV team.
Yeah.
And
then nothing against the group of 5 teams at all. It's just, I mean, there have been some great group of 5 teams that have been able to compete with some of these Power 5, like SEC, Big Ten schools. But,
what about USC getting the win over the bowl game? And OU didn't?
Dude, that quarterback. I mean, it's Lincoln Riley. He's going to continue to find, good talent at quarterback. But I mean, they got probably a guy that'll be able to fill Caleb Williams' shoes right there. I mean, he looked great all game. Like, they lost their guy that Malachi Nelson. He transferred out. He'll be at Boise State. They lose him to the transfer portal, but they had this guy step in, and I mean,
and did a great job.
Did a really good job. So I think USC, they'll be in the Big Ten next year. It's going to be a lot tougher. Well, I don't know. I say a lot tougher, but a lot of those good Pac-12 teams are also joining the Big Ten. Oregon will be in there. There's a couple other Pac-12 teams that are moving over. Washington, I think Washington was one of the ones that will be in the Big Ten. So, I mean, that Big Ten is going to be tough next year.
It'll be no cake.
So, yeah, definitely not. And then, you got Michigan, Ohio State still there. What are some other Big Ten teams that are pretty good? I don't know. It's really just been Michigan and Ohio State the past couple years. But, yeah. So, but, OSU and their bowl game, they looked really good. I said it earlier, but you got all the 18 or 19 of those starters coming back, which will be really good for them. And then, they got some young guys that are coming in that'll be able to help them out next year. So, it should be an exciting season for OSU next year as well.
No, I think it'd be a contender in the Big 12 along with Colorado. But the team that always gets me is that I really care a lot. I like a lot is BYU. I think BYU is going to be the team. I know they came in the Big 12 this year, but I think they'll be a team that's going to have to be reckoned with next year. Like you said, West Virginia. You lose Oklahoma. You lose Oklahoma and Texas, but you add 7 or 8 other good teams that can easily win. Cincinnati, teams like that. Right. So I think the Big 12 is going to be open. We're going to see what Deion got. I'd love to see that.
Oh yeah, I forgot Colorado was going in there.
Deion and Mike Gundy, that'd be a good one. Who has the better hair and who has the better sunglasses. So that'd be a great game to kick it off with. But, folks, like I said, we got a couple special guests. We might have Midwest City's coach, Torrey O'Neill. He's doing big things for the Bombers, man. I mean, as you can see right now, man, they just went and played in the big-time tournament over at the Putnam City Classic Invitational. The Bombers win over Norman North 51-37. And this is funny because, when you think of the Bombers, you think of 6A, right?
Yeah.
But, the Bombers are 5A.
Right.
Football, basketball, and all their sports. Not only did they knock off Putnam City West, they knocked off Union, then they turned around and knocked off Norman North. All of those are big 6A teams.
Right.
So, if you looked at their record last year and you look at their record this year, I mean, does one coach really make a difference? I know they got the move-in kid from Newcastle.
Yeah.
I know he's in, but, you had Roy Henderson that's playing lights out, so now he has a little bit of help. I think those two guys feed off each other. Roy Henderson Jr. ended up getting the most valuable player of the tournament. That's big time. So that's good for the Bombers and then Noel, what he's doing his first year. You look at Carl Albert, they're kind of not really struggling. Coach Price has lost some ball games. They did beat Dale City a couple weeks ago, last weekend in the the Bank 7 Classic over there, the the Mustang Classic over there last weekend over Christmas break, going into New Year's. You know, they get beat. They got beat. Who did Carl Albert get beat?
I can't remember.
It was last week. They got beat, then they ended up beating Dell City for the third and fourth place game. I don't know if they got beat by Mustang or they got beat by PC North. They got beat by one of those teams because one of those teams in the finals. But then Dell City and Carl Albert, two teams that played in the 5A state championship last year, played for the third place consolation. And Dell City, Carl Albert beats them, by 2 points. Carl Albert pretty much controlled the game, but Lenny Hatch is a good coach. He's going to get after you. He don't have all the firepower that he's had the last few years, as you can see, but I think he got some help on the way. And we'll talk about that a little bit later after we talk to Jennifer Douglas, So we'll be right back after what?
After one of our sponsors.
Keep it at 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. Be right back.
Man, Dad, all this crazy weather has gotten our roof and gutters all messed up.
Good thing we know some guys over at Rain Down Roofing and Gutters. They can inspect and repair your roof and gutters and get in contact with your insurance company in 72 hours or less.
Call Jay Hunt at Rain Down Roofing and Gutters at 405-473-0674. No job is too big or too small for Rain Down Roofing and Gutters. Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Sunday afternoon. Like I said, happy New Year's. We're back. We took 2 weeks off, but we got a very special guest on the line today. She just got done winning the Anadarko tournament. Miss Jennifer Douglas. How you doing, Miss Douglas?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We can't complain,
We're
man.
good,
It's only me and Ethan today. Jonah's at home babysitting kids, so sometimes you got to do father duties instead of doing the show. But Jennifer, I just want to bring you on the show, man. I'm a big fan of yours. Gotten to know you for a few years now. Our daughters have been playing ball against each other. Just got to watch you grow. As a young coach, and now you're a veteran coach. But one thing about it, you take it serious, and you're out there in El Reno. I know you. I'll let you talk about that. But where did you start your college coaching, and where did you play college ball and all that?
Well, I honestly did not play college basketball. Everybody thinks I did, but I didn't. I actually went to SWASU. I had an opportunity to play softball or basketball. And then I just chose to go to school. So I went to SWASU, graduated with an elementary ed degree, and I told myself that I was never, ever going to coach. And so I actually taught elementary school for 3 years before I even started coaching. And which is surprising. A lot of people don't get it, and I don't even get it. I really never thought that would happen to me. But I got my first head job at U.S. Grant High School. That was my first coaching job ever. And so I was there for 2 years. I think it was 2013. And then I was there for 2 years as a head coach. And then Katie Bass Smith, she basically recruited me to go to Midwest City with her. And so she got that job at Midwest City, the head job. And then I was her head assistant for a year that was 2015, 2016. And we ended up winning the 6A state championship there at Midwest City. And then after we won the championship, I was basically recruited to come out to El Reno, and I've been there ever since. So this is my 8th year. I got into, I don't know. I told myself that I would never, ever coach. But sometimes I regret not going and playing basketball or playing softball in college. And so I didn't have I had supportive parents and I had supportive coaches, but nobody forced me to do anything. They never said Jennifer, you're really good. You actually have the ability to go play, at least give it a year. And so that was kind of what my thought process going into coaching is, if I can make a difference in somebody's life and not necessarily force them, but tell them, hey, at least give it a year. And so I feel like that's what I've done at El Reno is, I've given kids the opportunity not only to grow on the basketball court, but also in life, and then put them in positions to at least get college for free, at least 1 to 2 years. That's what I keep telling them. Do not make my mistake, and don't go get, some education for free. And so that's basically that philosophy that I've kind of kept, make a difference in their lives and help them get an education for free.
Jennifer, I like to say you talked about you've been in El Reno the last 8 years, and like I said, I know you won a state championship. And me being an ex-Barmer, I know you on that wall back there. You and Katie.
Yes.
And the good thing about it, you talk about Katie Bass. I got a chance to watch her team. Last weekend over there that
Mustang.
Mustang
Yes.
Classic, and was really shocked. She got some young girls, so she'll be able to compete in that 6A.
Right.
But talk about 5A. I think right now the 5A is when you talk about
It's deep.
it's deep. But when you talk about high school girls basketball, I think your picture comes up on every coach's board because you've been there, you knocked off some teams, and you've been in the state championship. Right now, like you said, you're sitting at 10-0. I know last week when I got a chance to spoke to you a little bit, you was like, "Man, I'm kind of worried about Anadarko." I don't know why you was worried about Anadarko because you beat them 40-23 on their home floor. So it just kind of tells you what you got. For E and the listeners that don't know that much about El Reno, because I got a chance to follow them because of Carl Albert, and then our middle school get to play their middle school. But just following you the last few years, to see what you do, you do week in and week out. Tell the listeners, about some of the players you got, because I know you got two great post players, and I'm in love, not in a bad way, folks, but her little point guard, number 5, she's a baller. She really is. I don't know the young lady's name, but she can go.
Yes, that is for sure. So the one that you're speaking about is number 5, Reagan Bugai. She's actually a junior, and I'll tell you, she is the fan favorite, and I tell her this all the time. Anytime we go anywhere and people talk about our team, they're always like, "Oh my gosh, I absolutely love number 5. She is a baller." But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I tell Reagan all the time, like she can really hoop. Like when I tell you, like she is shifty, like she's shifty. You put the ball in her hand, like she can go get you a bucket easily. But I think the reason why she is such like a fan favorite is not only can she ball, but whenever you look at her, you're like, "Oh, that girl doesn't know how to play." She's like this little white girl with the glasses.
Yes.
Like you just and here's the thing, she's so sweet and so kind. Like she would not even like hurt a fly. And so like whenever you look at her, and, at pregame or anything, you're like, whatever. It's just number 5. Like there's this goofy little white girl out here. But then as soon as you put the ball in the hand, it's like magical. Like everybody's just like, "Oh wow." And so they're shocked. So she's definitely somebody that fools everybody. She's a junior right now. I think after this weekend, she might actually be our leading scorer. By I think if I look, and I didn't look as of last night, but before last night, I think she was scoring 11.9 points a game. And then you mentioned my post girls. I have 2 post girls. I have a senior, number 21. Her name's Pauline Black Carmen. She's been starting for me since she was a freshman. She actually is at 600 and something rebounds. She's actually about to break the school record, and I would probably give her maybe 2 or 3 more games. She's going to break the school record for the most rebounds in El Reno girls basketball history, which is big time. And then honestly, she's pretty close to getting her 1,000 point as well. So we're hoping that, she just continues to work and develop her game, because that's a big deal. 500 points and 1,000 rebounds. That would be the first person in probably El Reno history. Well, not El Reno history, but 5-on-5. And so that's just something that we want for her, individually. Obviously, we want a lot of accolades, and we want our team, trophies and things of that nature. But the individual accolades don't come unless you have, a great team. And so that's what we're hoping for her. Really what we've been doing with her is I'll be honest with you, she rebounds really well. She's super athletic. She's a bruiser. We've just been trying to develop her, because whenever she goes to college, she's 5'10", so she's not going to be a 5 normally. She's going to play a 3, 4, or 5. So we've been trying to work on her outside game, hitting threes, and then getting more comfortable with dribbling. And so that's just something that she's been trying to develop, which you could have seen if anybody saw any of the games this weekend. She definitely did a little bit of all of that this weekend. So it's exciting just to watch her progress and get better. And then my other post girl is a junior. Her name's Lily Thomas. Yes. She's a 6'1" forward. She has an offer from Oklahoma Christian right now. So she's getting some D2 interest and obviously NAIA and JUCO. But she's a matchup nightmare. The girl, I'll be honest with you, like her basketball IQ is amazing. We put the ball in her hands a lot of times just because she makes the right read, she makes the right decisions. Not only can she go score with her back to the basket, but she can catch and shoot the three, or she can catch on the perimeter and shimmy and shake and get a nice bucket, an easy layup. She passes super well. She makes great reads, and so her potential, literally, I promise, is like the sky. Sky's the limit for her. She came to me as a sophomore last year from Calumet. She'd scored, I promise, probably like 400 points at Calumet, and then had to come here to El Reno, and it's 5A, and we have a lot of other people that can score, and so she didn't score as much as she had liked last year. Right now, I believe that she's our second leading scorer with 11.6 points this year. And so she's definitely had to share, a little bit of the time. But we've been working with her on making sure that we run the floor, rim run, because that she can get a lot of easy buckets by that way. And then also just making sure that she defends well, stays out of foul trouble, and rebounds. But she has a lot of potential. So those are my three right now, my three top scorers. And then I have number one, Emery Elizondo. She's a big guard. She's a junior. Last year she was actually our leading scorer, and so she's definitely like the silent one that nobody really knows about right now, because she hasn't like had her like coming out game yet. But she's definitely somebody that you can't just not respect, She had a good tournament this weekend. I was super proud of her. She's usually the person that we put she's our best defender, so we put her usually on the best player. The nice thing about her, and which is something that we've been working on, is obviously she has a really good pull-up game. She can get to the rack and pull up. She shoots the three well, but what we started doing a lot last year towards the end of the year and throughout this year is we'll post her up against smaller guards, because she is super physical and she has good post moves. And so that's something that, we pulled out of her bag, and hopefully she can get better as well. And then last but not least, we have, our point guard, Najoni. I think Najoni averages over five assists a game. And so her assist to turnover ratio is like 2 point something. It's outrageous. She sees the floor super well. She's quick. She threads the needle. She gets the pass there easily. What she's worked on this year is her shooting. She actually is our best 3-point shooter right now. And so she can spot up and shoot the three anytime. And then right now, what we're just working on with her is finishing in the paint with contact. That's just something, that is her weakness. And so that's just something that we've been focusing on. And then also, sometimes she likes the highlight play, I think that's a lot of, I think that's anybody these days, right? And so sometimes we tell her, hey, Joan, I don't need you to get fancy right there. Just be fundamental. Just get it there. Right, exactly. And so, but she's also a great defender as well. A lot of people don't realize it because she's not like 5'10" or anything, but she has long arms. And so she's definitely a pass disruptor. And so she's always fun to work or watch as well. But our team, I'll be honest, is a joy. The way that they share the ball, the way that they play together, it's so special. We don't have, and this is something I take pride on. We don't have somebody, obviously we have somebody that can go get 30 points. We've done that, but what I absolutely love is that the fact that we have 5 girls, 6 girls that can go get you a bucket or can go off that night. Or if somebody's having a bad night, somebody's going to pick them up and pick up that scoring for them. And so that's what I think is special about our team, is that you can't just shut down one person and then somebody else not pick up the slack. We're going to get the job done regardless,
You talk about, go back real quick, it's funny when I went over to that El Reno game, I was sitting there with Zoe and she's like, hey, Dad, that the girl with the glasses, she's like, she don't look like it, but she can go. And it's funny because you said that, and one thing, you kind of touch base on, and I watched your team earlier this year. You talk about post up. One thing I liked about your team, if you look at a lot of these teams that today in high school basketball, they really don't run any plays. It's kind of like just run and go. But it felt like every one of your girls could go down and post up, and I think the first time you had played Carl Albert, you did a lot of that. You had all kind of girls going down and post, not just your post players, but some of your smaller
But my
players.
guards,
your
yes.
guards, and sometimes they had that mismatch like you talked about.
Yes.
And I think that's what kind of put you at the top of the notch of a great high school coach, because I love it when people say, "Hey, I didn't play college ball, or I didn't play basketball or softball." I tell people all the time, because you play D1 don't make you a great coach.
Doesn't. Agreed.
I
100%.
mean, I noticed that. I mean, I didn't play Division I. I played NIA ball, and I got a chance to play against a lot of guys that played at the highest level. And people think, because they're Division I, that makes you great. No, it doesn't make you great.
No.
It's somebody like you that's in the lab studying, getting ready for your opponents, what makes you a great coach. And people got to realize that. I get tired of people thinking, I got a home run hit because I got this D1 coach. Well, hell, he might not be a great coach, or she might not be a great coach. I think you could take your talents right now and go coach in the college level and still be successful, because what you do in the lab and you study and you get to know your girls. And like I said, one thing I notice a lot about you do a lot of family things with your girls.
Yes.
Not just Christmas, Thanksgiving. it's you guys get together and have a coloring night, or pin and tail on the donkey. I mean, whatever.
We really do.
You really do. I mean, I follow you, Coach Jen. I follow you. See, you don't think I be following you. I do. But those are the things that I like in a coach, because, man, at the end of the day, Coach, it's not just you being a coach. Like you said, it's about touching somebody that might not have that mother or father figure. I didn't have a father, so my mom raised me and my brothers, but sometimes those kids go through things that people don't know about. The only person they can confine is their coach.
Yes.
One of my coaches I still love today is Coach Dennis Huggins. He was like a father figure to me, so I applaud you on that, because I think, like I said, I think you do a great job, not just on the court, but off the court too, though. Just being for those girls, man. If it's not a mother or a big sister factor, and that go a long way with with you and in your team, though, because you could tell it's a family organization with all you guys together.
Yes, for sure.
Got anything?
Yeah, just over the last few years and over this year, y'all have won a lot of games. You're undefeated on the season this year. So what do you tell the girls, to kind of keep them level-headed, going into these games, making sure that they're still taking care of business?
Well, this is new to us, actually. This is the first time that El Reno has gone undefeated all the way up to this point, especially for me anyways. I haven't researched it as far as before me, but as of my 8 years, we have never been undefeated up to this point. We were never undefeated going into Christmas. I think, truthfully, I feel like since we've gone to districts, our schedule is a little bit weaker than what it has been in the past. And so that's a little bit different for us. So what we've just been focusing on, and I've been constantly telling the girls, is that we're not satisfied. Paying attention to the details. I know that some of these games aren't like games that you get to like go up for and like be pumped up for, because it's not an Anadarko, it's not a Carl Albert, but those games are super important to make sure that we stay disciplined and we work on those little things, and we prepare for the Carl Albert, prepare for the Anadarko, prepare for the Midwest City, the Booker T, the Sapulpa, the Tahlequah. Like, these are the games that we work on, those little things that are going to matter in those big games. And so I'm not worried about a mistake. I'm not worried about the score. What I'm worried about is, how did we handle those situations and those things that we're supposed to be working on, like after making a mistake, what did we do after the mistake? If we made one mistake, did we fix it and not do it again? If we had one empty possession, did we have another empty possession, or did we go get a bucket? Like, how many empty possessions did we go and then come back from? And so it's just little things, especially on defense. It's easy to be lazy against people that, aren't great. Are we staying down? Are we staying arm length away? Are we keeping them in front? Are we making sure that we have the high post? Are we limiting them to one shot and no offensive rebounds? Things of that nature. Like, I pay attention to those little things, because that's what's really going to matter when you play those great teams.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like you said, you're sitting at 10-0 for the first time. You talked about district. That's something I kind of see too. I've heard other coaches talk about the same thing. Talk about they don't feel like the districts are, you're not playing the best competition. And sometimes that can kind of get you like, is that good? Is it bad? Yeah, you're blowing people out, but are you really getting a great test? You know, and I think you guys you opened the season off with with
Carl
Albert. You got you playing in this ADA tournament. You know, some of the teams that I think that could be some. I think Coach Manloy over there, Coach Knight over at Midwest City. I think she got a really good team.
Yes, she does.
I got to watch them play in the Norman tournament over the break, and just seeing what they got with Deanna Douglas, good post player, and I think they lack of shooting the three as good as some of the other teams, but I think they got two inside games. With Douglas,
they're super athletic, quick.
We're gonna get after you, but
yeah.
you also watch them give up 51 points to a young lady from Norman too, though. So, but
yes.
So it happens. But I also watched them play you one game, and you had a young lady that gave. I think put 41 or 42
something.
Yeah, so Malloy might have to work on that little defense a little bit, but I mean I think they got a good team. It's called Keep It 100. But but like I said, I just think that last year, did you play for the state championship last year?
No, we lost to Sapulpa in the semis.
Yeah, lost to Sapulpa, but
so the last 4 years we've made it to the semis, or we've made it to the championship. So semis. Yeah, so semis 3 years and then championship once, I believe.
I mean, that speaks highly, though, Coach. Some people can't never get there,
Right.
I mean, that's big on your part, getting these girls there, especially when you talk about a town. Not saying El Reno's bad or nothing, but and me and you kind of talked about this over the break. Is that when you start talking about you look at some of your middle school, and you're like, man, they get beat up. Then they get to high school, it's like, man, Jennifer Douglas does a magic spell on them because those girls become really, really good and they compete for state championship. And you have the Carl Albert girls that might go undefeated through junior high and then their freshman year, then get up to the big girls. Jennifer Douglas is in the finals or the semifinals, and some of these teams are not even getting there. So it just speaks highly for what you do with these girls and getting them ready, though. Let's talk about your staff real quick. I know you lost the coach last year, a year. I think she went to Guthrie, but but I think you got a pretty good staff. You got a handsome young man on that staff that helps you a lot too. Good guy.
Yes, I am pretty blessed. I have my other half, my significant other, his name is Prince Izala, and he's on my staff. He's my head assistant. He's been coaching actually longer than me. He coached, boys for a little while, for a long while. And then he got into the girls, and he coached the Oklahoma City Storm girls for a while. And then he came over to El Reno, and he's been helping me. I think this is his third year. I absolutely love it. A lot of people think that it's crazy. They don't see how you could work with your spouse. But I love it because, our conversations are real. They're honest. We know exactly what each other's thinking. We can be truthful with each other, like he'll tell me what he thinks, and then we'll go back and forth and we'll question each, thought process, and then we'll decide there. I'm blessed just because he takes half the load off of me. And so that's what's nice is that, he definitely helps me in that aspect. Whenever he came to El Reno, I thought I had a really good teaching position. I got to, watch film a lot, and I was pretty blessed in that aspect. But I sacrificed and then took a different position and allowed him to take my job. And so now he is the one that gets to watch film. And so he has a very important part. And so that's something that he's really taken ownership of this year, is definitely making sure that, he studies film, game plan, and things of that nature. And then we go back and forth. I think this is what we should do. What do you think? And then he's like, well, this, and this. And then, so it's actually really cool. He's learned a lot. And that's something that we talk about is, just from the coaching and kind of the personnel and the family, stuff that's not X's and O's. The stuff on the outside, that a lot of people take for granted and they don't realize, that makes girls feel special, or girls want to be wanted, or girls feel loved and things of that nature, or feel part of a culture or part of a team. And so those are all things that he's like, gosh, I would have never thought of saying that, or I would have never thought of doing that. And he was like, I like that. And, he'll ask where do you get that from? I'm like, well, sometimes I just magically think of it, or I watch somebody else do it. And so it's just cool for him to, listen and learn, because eventually he wants his own head job and he really wants to get to college. He actually this past summer had a really good opportunity. He's Nigerian. His parents are from Nigeria. He was born in America, but his parents are immigrants. And so He has a Nigerian passport. He's a citizen of Nigeria and the United States. So he's a dual citizen. And so he was able to be an assistant on the women's Nigerian national team.
That's cool.
And they actually, I know, they competed in the Afro Basket Championship this summer and they won. And so now they have a bid to go qualify for the Olympics. And so they go to Belgium in February. So he's not going to be with me for like 2 weeks in February, but I hope that they win. In their pod, they have like the United States and then they have like 2 other teams. But if I think they get second out of that pod, then they make it to the Olympics in the summer. And so it's actually really cool. It's big. It's a big deal. So I hope that it all works out for them, pray that, it all works out because I want to go to the Olympics as well as a fan.
Right. Wouldn't that be cool?
Right. But the head coach, Reno Wakama, she's amazing. Prince and her had a conversation. They had a Skype the other day and we all were talking. She was like, what do you think, coach? And so I just give my input and then, we talk basketball. And so it's just super cool. It's just like, that's like a family atmosphere as well. And so I get to be, I'm not in the face, but I get to be, a person behind the scenes and, talk and give ideas and watch and kind of give my perspective. And, he listens. And then sometimes, he gets to pitch stuff and then we have conversations about it. So it's actually really, really cool.
That's pretty cool. So, I know it's funny because like some of these teams, they play back-to-back tournaments. So how many tournaments besides the state championship in area, how many tournaments does a high school team get to play in a year?
Okay, so it depends, depending on how many games they have. So some people play 2 tournaments and they play extra like seasonal games, if that makes sense. So a lot of people that went to districts, it separated, like the Edmonds or the Lawtons. And so they don't have those like rivalry games. And so they decided to take 2 tournaments and then add 2 more games. So that way they could have those rivalry games. Okay. Now, if you take away those games, those rivalry games for 5A and 6A, you just do your district, then you're allowed 3 tournaments. So it kind of just depends on the school district and kind of depends on the coach. We do 3 tournaments. We have the hair tournament, Anadarko and Shawnee. Anadarko and Shawnee is somewhat like the 2 that we make sure that we go to every single year, just because we are a predominantly Native American community. And so a lot of the Native American community, members come to Anadarko. Like last night, we got to wear our N7 jerseys. And Anadarko, was the home team. And so there was a lot of Native Americans in the stands and on the court. And so we were just kind of trying to expose and show that, this culture is beautiful and things of that nature. And the same thing goes, at Shawnee, they have a high population of Native Americans as well. And so we just try to make sure that our kids have that representation in their Native American community.
Coach, that's pretty cool. I never thought of that, I know the listeners, they get to come back and get to listen to the show, they get to hear that because I would have never thought of that. And that's pretty cool, giving back, like you said, to the Native Americans, So I think that's awesome. Like I said, I love what you do at Bishop McGinnis. I'm not sorry, at El Reno. I got Bishop McGinnis in my mind because I'm going to talk about it next. Bishop McGinnis' term, I got to talk about it. But I love what you do at El Reno. I know here in a few years, my daughter will be facing you and your daughter at El Reno. Man, it's going to be a friendly rival, but
it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I love it. Jennifer's very no. Hey, I know she seems all sweet on this picture and on this phone, but don't let her fool you. She got some feisty. She'll slam them boots down and them heels down. I love it, but she gets after it. But she's also a great competitor. We do a lot. Against each other in AU ball, and she's be the first to comment, on my page when I do something nice. Each week I try to, put girls' film, not just their film, but just plays they make, man. Because, one thing I think, Coach, and you can agree with me, and it's one thing I'm going to try to do better on this show, I want to promote the girls' basketball. I got a daughter that plays basketball, and I don't think it gets done. I'm sitting here looking this morning, I get up, I start writing the show, and I'm looking at OK Ball, and they're talking about all the boys tournament. And there's nothing really, I had to go dig to your page to go find, what you did and what you post. So I don't think we're getting enough pub for the girls basketball. In girls basketball, I'm telling you right now, we got some girls that can go.
We do. Yes.
You know, you look at the Mustang tournament. I don't know the young lady's name. She's number 13 for Edmond North.
Yes.
I can't think of her name. I thought I wrote it down.
Allison Heathcock. She's going to Creighton.
Yeah, going to Creighton. This young girl could go. Bethany had two. Bethany had two girls that can go. I think one's going to OU. You know, I think one was number 2 and the other one was 32.
Yes.
I mean,
Zyvan and Keziah Lofton.
See, Coach knows their name. I don't. I know the numbers. Don't know the names. But just to watch these girls over the weekend, you know, I got a chance. It's like, holy cow! I look at my daughter. It's like, man, we got still some work to do because man, you're
exactly.
you're looking at these girls, man. They can. I'll tell you, you go play them. You probably can do 3-on-3 boys and 3-on-3 girls, and have them play against each other. And the girls probably beat them because they shoot better than the boys.
Yes.
And so I just tell you right now, I think Oklahoma. I know Jason Green is trying to do. You know, he's doing a little bit with the. You know, the prep hoops. You know, and I think I'm gonna have him on the show here in a couple of weeks. But I just think that we got to get behind the female athletes because I think sometimes we leave them behind. And there's a lot of great talent out here in the state of Oklahoma. You know, a lot of great. You know, I mean, Jen's been on that BTR circuit. She knows what it's like. A lot of those girls are going places. Just. You know, it's. I think we got to promote it more, man. And I don't think we do enough job. And that's why, you know, I want to have, you know, Katie and yourself and you know, Coach Knight and a lot of women, you know, coaches. I mean, everybody know about the men coaches, but let's promote these women sports because I don't think they get enough attention from girls softball to girls volleyball, you know, to you know, and even track. I think we, as you know, us sports guys and you know, sportscasters and all these guys that do podcasts and Twitter and all that, we need to promote the female athletes.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, obviously, I want you know my girls to win. You know, obviously, my team, that's special to me. But as a whole, I want anybody in Oklahoma, any girl to win. Like, that's what I enjoy seeing is somebody winning and somebody being productive and somebody taking their talent to the next level. That's what I enjoy seeing. And then I think, like you said, like, I think that the more women that we have in powerful positions, putting those girls and supporting those girls is what's important. And so that's just anybody, like whenever you said, like when you post like super things or like great things about your kids or Carl Albert or anybody, I'm like, yes, I love it. Good job. Because that's what I enjoy seeing. I enjoy seeing girls be successful. And that's what I love. You know, I try to keep up with it as much as I can. You know, I help with that, you know, Super 16. And so that's usually where I figure out who's good, who's not. But also, you know, I've been in the AAU world just as a kind of like a bystander, try to coach a little bit, but I really enjoy just observing and getting to know girls and watching them grow as individuals and as basketball players. So that's fun for me, and that's what I like. I'm just kind of like a basketball junkie. You know, I enjoy watching them.
I love it. I love it that you're supporting me. You're there last week, so at the Mustang Classic, you know, supporting Katie and her team and the rest of the team that's there, you know.
Yes.
Like you said, it's great basketball. But, Jim, before I let you go, I got to ask you, is there any tips you can tell me to help my daughter? Give me just a little tip. I know she's going to play against you in a few years, but give me a couple tips.
I'll be honest. I absolutely love Zoe. I don't think Zoe's going to get very much taller. Her and Jada probably are probably going to be tiny. And so the only thing that I can say is whenever you're that little, you better have a dog mentality. And so that's just something, like I saw you post something about defense the other day. And so that's just where I would start with her. Like, make sure that she can really defend. She's tough, and so that's what I like about her. Continue to work on, you know, ball handling, distributing, and then, you know, finish with contact. So that's important, and which I see from Zoe. But just continue to never be satisfied and keep working.
I got my fingers crossed. You know, she had hurt her knee last year, and we went to the doctor, and her growth plates were still open. So he told me 5'7", 5'8". If he don't,
well, that would be nice.
Yeah. So you know, Jen, I did learn. I hate to say this on the show, but I did learn from marrying my first wife. She was short, and I said this second one I got to get a little bit taller. So Jessica's about 5'7", 5'8". So
yes.
But the funny thing is, Jen, this is no lie. All of Jessica's brothers and sisters are all over 6 foot. Jessica's the shortest
Oh,
one.
man.
So Jessica's brother's 6'4", her other brother was 6'6". Then her sister Brandy is probably about 5'11", 6 foot. And here we got Jessica about 5'7", 5'8". So hopefully,
Well, fingers
God,
crossed.
yes, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. But like I said, Jen, it's been a pleasure, man. I know I've been begging you to come on, I am really thrilled to have you on because I just think that
Thank you.
people just don't, if they don't know you, they should.
Right.
I mean, if she could write a book and people should go buy it, and I'm not saying to say it, but man, you talk about a coach that's really loves her team, and that's you. I don't care what team it is, of a team that won 4 games, of a team that wins 20 games. You love those girls all the same, man, and that speaks highly
Thank
for
you.
that. So, and at the end of the day, I got to take off my Carl Albert glasses and be keep it 100. But, people are like, man, you gave her a lot of love. When you good, when you deserve the flowers, I'm going to deliver the flowers, and that's one thing I got to say. Coach Big E, you got anything before we get out of here?
No, I just thank you for coming on, taking time out of your weekend, come on the show, talk some ball. But
No problem.
yeah, and good luck the rest of the season.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Tell your significant other I said hi, and you guys enjoy your rest of your Sunday afternoon.
All right, will do.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right,
Folks,
bye.
that's Jennifer Douglas, the head coach of El Reno basketball. Like you said, the last, what she say, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, the last 4 years, they either made the semifinals or the state championship game. So,
And you know what? One thing I heard Big E when she was talking about those girls, a lot of those girls are coming back.
yeah.
So,
she said junior,
yeah,
sophomore,
it's like,
so.
when you start having teams that's, you're sitting at 10-0 right here at Christmas break, I don't know. Can you pull her schedule up real quick one more time? And let's see who she got left. I know she got Carl Albert at Carl Albert. And Carl Albert ladies are doing good. They start four sophomores and 1 senior. So Coach Rich has got them going, man. He's won 7 in a row. His first loss was to El Reno, the first game of the season. I'll tell you right now, to be your opening game, that's a tough game, folks. I'm going to tell you right now. El Reno beat them up over at Carl Albert. Coach Rich knows what he got to do. He's doing a great job of getting those girls back on the point, on the playing surface. It went out last week and won the Ada tournament after, and Ada beat a great Washington team that has a chance to go win Class 2A state championship. I know they beat Jones the other day. Coach Jeannie Holbrook, they beat her. But I just tell you right now, Coach Rich and the Carl Albert Titans, man, I mean, they're going to put that work in and going to compete for that one, like she says, district. So I think the first 2 teams get the home area. So I know Carl Albert and El Reno's both battling for that. So what does El Reno got left on their schedule, Big E?
So they have Western Heights, Altus, Guthrie, at Carl Albert, at Western Heights, and then at Guthrie. Excuse me. So yeah, and then I think is that does the season usually end around the beginning of February?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they got left
Then
on the
you
schedule.
get ready for area,
Yeah, then you got area, and then
Yeah,
you got
like
those
she said,
tournaments.
she got that Shawnee tournament. Does it show when that Shawnee tournament is?
Not on here, no.
Okay. Well, folks, if you get a chance, man, you might come check that El Reno Carl Albert game out. What day is that on, Big E?
That's the 23rd.
Of this month?
Yes.
Woo! Folks, that's right down the street. Rich! Yeah. Rich probably got the girls out there training right now, man. I mean, they had this weekend off. It's always good to rest those legs, man. I tell you right now, my babies played the last 4 or 5 days, man. We scrimmaged on Wednesday. I had a tournament this weekend. Shout out to them real quick since we still in the girls' sports. Shout out to the Carl Albert Lady Tights class of 2029 7th grade, winning the Chickasha tournament. Great ball weekend. Went undefeated all weekend. Played Chickasha in the finals at their house on their home court and came out victory. I think we came out 43-19. Great job from all the young ladies from the Carl Albert team. From Zoe to the Crawford twins, Annabelle and Brindley, to Sayoni, Vanessa, Gabby. I'm pretty sure I might miss a girl. Who am I missing? I think her name's Amai. Then we got two more. Oh, London, and then we got Jimmy Chris was number 15. It's gonna come to me, folks. Folks, what happens when you get old and you've been off for 2 weeks? Charlotte, I told you it's gonna come to me. But shout out to those young ladies winning that, Chickasha tournament, coming out victory. Then shout out to the 7th grade boys from Carl Albert 2029 doing the same thing, going undefeated, playing Chickasha at their stadium and beating them pretty good. Some of the guys I could talk about, Gibson, Chris Crawford, Bud. They got Jimmy Wilkerson's youngest son on the team. The kid is 6'5", folks, as a 7th grader. Can already dunk. I think his name is Jax.
7th grader?
Yeah,
That can
grader.
dunk?
That can dunk already.
How tall is he?
He's about 6'5", 6'6".
6'5" as a 7th grader.
7th grader. Big boy,
Golly.
big old boy. I said
I wish I would have
Jax.
had those genetics.
They got Landon. What is his son's name? But they got, like I said, their team is deep. I mean, they really are, man. I mean, the thing about some of those guys, they only get to play maybe a quarter and a half because they blow people out so fast, and then and it's it's not fun. Luckily we only have 8, 9 girls, so a lot of our starters get to stay in. Coach Chelsea has done a great job this season with these girls. They're still undefeated, but they got a big game this Tuesday night. Big game.
Yeah.
They'll face the Midwest City Middale Bombers. 3 great athlete girls over there with Riri, Brooklyn Henderson, Roy Henderson's little sister, and then you got Mrs. Amari, a young lady that can handle the ball. She's not very big, but Coach Jennifer talked about being a dog. This young lady's a dog. She can go, like I said, not very big, but I guarantee this young lady's about 5'1", 5'2", but she plays bigger than what she is, and that's real talk. But we'll play them Tuesday night over at Midwest City at 4 p.m. You guys looking to go watch a good middle school game. It's going to be a lot of fireworks in there, a lot of fireworks. Just because 2 teams that know each other, some of them play on the same AAU team, so
Right.
You should get a lot of good action. Colorado Girls is undefeated right now. I know everybody's looking to knock them off. We played Blanchard in the semifinals, and we beat up on them, and you can tell they haven't been beat. When the team ain't been beat, parents start talking and squawking and all that junk. Sometimes you got to just say, hey, sit back, get better, go practice, work. Practice makes perfect. I'm going to tell you that all the time. Practice makes perfect. But we're going to take a quick break. We might have Coach Noel. I don't know if we're going to have him or not. If not, we're going to finish this out. I got a little tea party going on here in a little bit. I got a bunch of young ladies coming over from the Colorado basketball team and some of the cheer girls. So he's going to try to wrap this up as quick as we can. I'm glad to be back on the show.
My Packer is about to play, so we're going
to my Cowboys about to play. And he said there's a good chance we won't shoot next week. We're going to shoot twice a month. And with basketball and wrestling, you can't get everything because they play every night. But congratulations to everybody that went to the Gary tournament. If you place in that, or Gary tournament is one of the biggest tournaments in Oklahoma besides state. So if you place in that, congratulations to you guys. I know Dale City had a young man that just transferred in from Edmond North, took his talents over to Dale City. He just went place in the Gary tournament. That's big time. They might not have had nobody back in the early 90s or 80s in that place in the Gary tournament. That's how tough that tournament is. I can brag because my kid, he placed in the Gary tournament. I think he won it twice. They wrestled over the weekend, Big E. He wrestled 2 weeks ago in the big time tournament, the 44th National Classic they had out there in Indianapolis. He got to the finals, got beaten in the finals 7-1. No excuses on him. Just kind of called him. He gets home back on Monday. He's not feeling well. I find out he had COVID, so I think he wrestled the finals with COVID. But that's all right.
Man.
I told him it's all right. It's okay to lose in January and December. Don't want you losing in February and March. Shout out to UCO. They just won the national dual tournament. Came back from behind against St. Cloud and won that. Gabe Russell, the number 1 kid in the nation. They go to overtime. He takes him down in overtime. He ended up losing 4-1. But once again, I'm not mad at him. I'm pretty pleased at him because, you wrestle number 1 kid. There's more pressure on that kid and Gabe had every opportunity to win the match. And we talked about it. So hopefully he can get those things fixed, and we will get them fixed. I know his Uncle Danny will look at the film and his Uncle Jerry will look at the film, and they'll get it fixed. But we're going to take a quick break, get ready to wrap this up and get ready to go watch these Cowboys and these Packers.
Yeah.
And hopefully next week they'll be playing each other. We'll be right back after what?
One of our sponsors.
Keep it at 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. Be right back.
With 25 years experience in the industry, Linex Customs OKC is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle accessory needs. Specializing in spray-in liners, lifts, levels, wheels, tires, bed covers, and anything else you need to make your ride look and sound better. Call Eric and the boys at 405-778 88878.
Welcome back to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Sunday afternoon. Like I said, just got off the phone with Coach Jennifer Douglas, Del Reno, outstanding coach, man, is doing a good job. Just won the Anadarko tournament, sitting at 10-0, like she said. Good as her team's been. It's the first time she's sitting at 10-0. She's still got a couple tough games left. She got the Shawnee tournament. Then she got to take her talents to the great land of Carl Albert Lady Titans here in a few weeks. That's going to be what you say, January 23rd. So, folks, if you're looking to go catch a great high school game, come out because there's going to be a lot of fireworks. But we're going to talk about some of the champions this weekend. You had Bishop McGinnis Classic Tournament. You had Edmond Memorial over Choctaw. Yellow Jackets 51-37. I think Choctaw's kind of down and got a couple guys hurt. They did say Will was playing, but one of their great players got hurt, so I think he's out for the season. So hopefully coach can get him turned around. But Edmond Memorial is just one of those teams that's going to do everything right. Not going to make a lot of mistakes. Choctaw's a team that's going to get up and run. Probably just hey, let's get and go. Don't know how much offense they running, but like I said, Edmond Memorial just told you they're one of the teams because everybody had Choctaw as one of the teams that could win it. Everybody talked about Edmond North. Edmond North just won the tournament champions, knocking off. Actually, did knock off Dale. Dale got knocked off by the Wasso last minute buzzer. There's a young man over there at the Wasso, just a sophomore. I think his coach's kid, big kid, about 6'7". Don't know his name, but I know he's 6'7". He can shoot the three. Hit a buzzer to beat Dale. And so Dale is a team that won it last year, a small team. Yeah. With one of the best players in the state of Oklahoma. Was it Dayton Forsyth? Yeah. Young man out of Dale, but so this kind of tells you how good a Wasso is. But like I said, it just kind of shows you where everybody's at. But Ed Memorial kind of puts himself right there, being in the driver's seat to go play. The next turn you had was the Conoco?
Conoco Phillips Arvest Invitational. You got CA beating Broken Arrow 53-47 with Jaden Hopkins winning that MVP. And that Jaden Hopkins kid, he is good.
He's just a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a young guy. I remember he was in middle school, and this was when I was helping out at my church with the youth program, and he would come in there. We have a little basketball court in there, and he's 7th or 8th grader at the time, and he would smoke everybody, all the high school kids, all the grown-ups that were in there playing. Like, he would be in there dunking and stuff. I was like, my goodness, like this kid.
He has an older brother that's on the team. He had a couple other older brothers, but he got an older brother, Quincy, that's on the team as a senior. And
Quincy's the one that I'm thinking of. Jaden's the younger brother. Yeah. Okay.
So you look at these two young men. Hopefully, I tell people all the time, I think Quincy would have stuck with football because I think he had all kind of D1 offers. If you look at this guy's physique, man, as he's probably about a 6'1", 6'2" guard. But I think if he goes play defensive back, he fits the right protocol of playing that because you don't see a lot of big guards. I mean, a lot of 6'1", 6'2" guards,
right?
And at the next level. But the kid's athletic enough, so hopefully he'll get a scholarship to somewhere. Maybe a small division, a good Division II. But his brother, he's just a sophomore, so I just think by the time he's ready to leave Carl Albert, he'll have all kind of offers. Then you talk about the Putnam City Invitational. You had the Memphis City Bombers over Norman North, 51-37. Like I said, we kind of said earlier, Roy Henderson gets the MVP. Coach Noel's got these guys going in the right direction. If you would have saw their record last year, wasn't very good. He's done a little, Bomber magic. A guy that graduated and played at Memphis City, so sometimes you bring that magic back. I say it all the time. We want to get that football program back. When Coach Hall leaves, you better go get a Bomber. Sometimes you got to bring that alumni. He knows the halls. He knows the cafeteria. He knows that McDonald's on 15th Street. He knows all that stuff, folks. I'm not just saying it to say it. It's the truth. Sometimes you got to bring that magic back, and he's brought it back. He had a T-shirt that says, "We're back, McDub," and I think he's not lying. He's gonna get kids to come in. When you win, people want to do what? Move in.
Yep.
When you win, people want to do what?
Move in.
And that's what it's right now. He's doing a good job. He has a chance to go play for the 5A state champion. I know Carl Albert got something to say about it. I know Guthrie got something to say about it. But I'm going to tell you right now, Carl Albert said, wait a minute. We might have lost some games early, but we had the outstanding linebacker that was at Bishop McGinnis. Now he's over at Carl Albert, got him a state championship football ring. Now he's looking to get him a state championship basketball ring. They had the big man come out. the linebacker that signed with OU. What's his name? Michael James?
Marcus
James? Hey, kid, hey, look at that picture. Go look at that picture. I would want to post him up, and I'm a big man. I would want to post. Hey, the kid's just a junior, folks. So I know Coach Price is sitting back in his recliner today, watching a little football, probably drinking a little iced tea, saying, "Man, what? People sleeping on us right now. I'm sorry, got me spitting, Coach. Got me spitting over here. People sleeping on us right now. But I'm gonna tell you something. Watch out for them Carl Albert boys. Watch out for Lenny Hatchett. Lenny Hatchett got some stuff coming. You know, when this with this new rule, people leaving and moving and jumping and all around. Hey, watch out. Don't sleep on Dell City. Guthrie went over and upset it. Carl Albert at Carl Albert. So Guthrie got a team. So I'm telling you right now, it's wide open. But I'm going to have to give the edge to Midwest City right now because what they're doing. You know, what they're doing with their team and what they had last year to what they got this year. Coach Nell, man, you got to put him up for Coach of the Year in 5A. What we got next, Big E?
Next, you got the Lady Bombers winning the East Central Classic in Ada, beating they beat Ada 39-27.
Yeah.
So, okay. So now I see that. And then Sierra Martin was named to the all-tournament team, and Deanna Douglas was the MVP.
Deanna Douglas, somebody we've had on the show
yeah,
before.
we have had her on the show.
And it tells you right there what Coach Knight got, man. They got two big girls, and like I said, they don't have a lot of great outside shooting, but you don't have to have a lot of great side shooting when you got two girls that can post up. They got some girls that can shoot. You know, they had a young lady that was hurt. She was out part of the year. She's just now coming back. You can see when you start getting all your pieces back together, hey, everything starts coming together. When you put that puzzle together, man, it looks really nice, and you put it in the frame. Now you can say, hey, guess what? We got some things going on. So great job to the Lady Bombers, you know, doing that, winning that tournament. The Lady Longhorns, they get back on track. Coach Jenny's lost some games this year. She's lost some games. She ain't got all the same girls. You know, she still got her big post center, but, you know, sometimes you need more than that. You know, I think she's playing a lot of young girls. So good job to them getting back on the winning track. They end up winning the tournament. What tournament was that? Winning the Wheat Capital tournament.
Yeah.
Beating Kingfisher 48-34. So congratulations to Coach Jenny Holbrook, getting them back in the winning track and winning the tournament. Sometimes it takes, you know, a big-time tournament, a big-time game to get your girls back on where they need to be. So good job to the Lady Longhorns. And then the guys, too, they also won the tournament, too. So good job to both Jones men and women.
Yep. And then next you got the Lady Titans winning the Ada tournament last weekend over Washington, 42-40. Close game right there, but they were able to get the win.
You know, like I said, Coach, you know, Richie Kyle, you know, he lost his first game to El Reno, and ever since then he's been on the winning bus, and that bus plan on not stopping tomorrow or the next day. So Coach Richie knows how to win. He knows how to get to the playoff. He just got to get, you know, he's got to get to that next step, and I think he can in the next 5 to 6 years. What he got there and what he got coming up, I think he's in a good spot. I love his wife. She's a big supporter of Keep It 100 and just and all the younger girls, man. Anytime you got somebody like that can support you and what you're doing. And folks, I'm not gonna lie, I post about the girls. I love that Coach Douglas like that, man. One morning I thought she was kind of being sarcastic to me, and I was like, what? Because we had just beat up on her El Reno Indians, baby Indian 7th grade girls, and you know her daughter's on that team. And Jada's a good ball player. You know, once she gets under her mama 24/7, she's also a great volleyball player. So that's something mama got to look at. Is she gonna play basketball or she gonna play a little volleyball? Knowing mama, she gonna make her play basketball, but Jada's a good good volleyball player too. So, but like I said, Coach Richie, what he got with the Lady Titans right now, man. You know, last year he had 3 starters, girls that that played a lot, all could shoot the 3. He kind of had to change the game a little bit this year. You know, he's starting 4 sophomores and then, you know, 1 senior that's committed to go play softball. So it just tells you what he got there. I think he's getting hot at the right time. I tell people all the time, doesn't matter what you're doing in December. Don't matter what you're doing in November. Don't matter what you're doing in January. When you need to get hot, it's the end of January, going into February, smooth into March when you start playing that state tournament, because, you know, you lose 1 in state, you done. You know, area you can lose 1 and fight your way back up. So
right.
Hopefully he can get those girls in the right spot. Then you're gonna talk. I mean, I went to that Mustang Classic. I think Mustang got some players, man. It was a big time tournament. You know, both boys and girls of Mustang made it to the finals. You know, like I said, it was the Bank 7 Holiday Classic. Girls came a little bit short. They got beat by Edmond North. the two-time state champion team. I got the chance to watch that coach in action, a guy that can coach, he gets after it. But, when you got a girl like number 13, I think her name was Allison, that's going to Creighton. When you got somebody like that on your team that can go, really truthfully, Mustang, did some big things. You had some big time teams in there. Mustang got a couple young girls. One of the girls that you got to watch out for, I think she's just a sophomore. Her name is Maya. You keep your eye on her. Then the boys got two guys. They got a guy named Romeo Miller. Then they got the old quarterback that was at Oklahoma State, dad coach at John Marshall, Poe guy. Not a very big guy, but I'm telling you, man, the kid got range like Steph Curry. So it's always good when you go watch guys like that play and you look at their game. You're like, man, he ain't very big. And like sometimes, like she said, when you're not very big, you got to play like a dog. So congratulations to Mustang and what Coach Katie Bass Smith is doing out there with her girls team. I think they'll make some noise in the state championship. But, just kind of watch them play against Edmond North, and it seemed like they was kind of undermatched. But Edmond North has been there. When you've been there, you know how to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When you've been there, you know how to win already.
Yes, sir.
And I think Mustang being young, they haven't got it all figured out. But Coach Bass is a good coach. Not only just a good coach, but a hell of a dresser. I'll tell you right now, I don't think I haven't seen her coach a lot of games, but I'll tell you right this, though, I bet she don't wear the same outfit twice in the season. She's booted and scooted, ready to go.
Gotcha.
So I give it to her, Coach Bass. I don't know who picked your clothes out, your daughters or what, but you're looking good on the sideline. So great job to her and her girls.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, is there anything else?
Well, before we get out of here, man, I want to give a quick shout out to three young ladies, man. Coach, not coach, but Jason Green. He's with the OK Prep Girls. And he wrote these articles about Brindley. He did one on Brindley. Can you see that back there, Biggie? He did it on Brindley.
Yeah, it's a little small, but yeah, you can see it.
Can I make it bigger or what?
Yeah, you can zoom in a little bit.
How's that?
Yeah. I mean, me and you will be able to see it, but people watching at home, they won't be able to see it.
But he gives us, he talks about Brindley and Annabelle, and he kind of compares these girls to the Paris twins, man. And anytime you can get any kind of recognition like that, the Paris twins, you might be too young to remember the Paris twins, but they played at Oklahoma. They were. I
remember him.
Daddy played for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Bubba Paris. It was his daughters. You young. That's back.
I've heard of the Paris twins just because I've grown up an OU fan, but I don't think I was around when they were there.
An article on Brindley. If you guys get a chance, zoom in. Then he does one on Zoe. Talk about her being Carl Albert being undefeated for the last 2 years. But when you got three girls like that, they can get some recognition as a seventh grader. You got to give them some love, And the good thing about it, these girls play, man. They play AAU basketball. Somebody had asked me the other day, I didn't know nothing about this. The guy texted me, he DM'd me and said, hey, is their name spelled right? He had the height kind of wrong. He did get the height fixed. He had Zoe at 5'5". I wish she was 5'5" already, but I really think Zoe's going to get a chance to be 5'7", 5'8". She can keep her speed and all that. But, the two Crawford twins, man, as some seventh graders, walk around, 5'10" and 5'8", 5'9". You got some girls, and they move the ball. And the biggest thing about it, Big E, they can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
They can flat out shoot the ball. But I'm going to give, like I said, before we get out of here, Midwest City got their shirts, and it says, what? What does it say?
We're back.
Mid-dub. Coach said he's back. He said he's going to run. Hey, he's going to run through the mid-dub. But like I said, I think Lenny Hatcher to have his team ready. He's a state champion. He's been there. He knows what it takes to win a state championship. Coach Price has been there. Sometimes when you start adding new pieces together, because, I had Carl Albert to win it all, but, you still got Crossing out there, a really good team, and some of the teams on the other side of the state. She talked about Tahlequah. Tahlequah is those teams you don't see every day because, on the other side of the state, so you don't get the chance to see them. Then when it comes state tournament time, they show up, and then you're like, oh, holy cow, this team is really good. But, like I said, Coach Jennifer has done a great job over at El Reno. I'm glad we got a chance to get her home, man. We've been trying to get her home for the last few years. I think I finally bugged her enough. She said, damn, Tony, I'm going to come home. But Big E, anything else before we finish up? Like, folks, we'll take next week off.
Yeah.
We'll come back, probably have another special guest. My goal is to try to have two guests and then talk a little bit about, what's going on. But that's my goal. I know I'm going to have Coach Price on from from Carl Albert. I'd like to have Coach Bass on. We were supposed to hook up a couple weeks ago, didn't fall through. They had some stuff going on with Christmas, and I know she's kind of like Coach Douglas, go out and do a lot of things in the community, and that's the most important thing. Get out to the community. If you give to the community, they're gonna come back and give to you. Come support you at games like that. You can see what Coach Douglas is doing with her team. You know, in the Shawnee tournament, in the Anadarko tournament. You know, most being a native team, she's giving back to the native, and they get to come watch some of their family members play. So I think that's really great. But Big E, get us out of here.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Get us out there, all that good stuff. And hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year. And, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Keep it 100 Oklahoma
High School Sports.
See ya.